All right, here we go. We are live.
Hey, everybody. How y'all doing?
Hi, happy Wednesday. Welcome to our stream. We're the Movie Couple. I'm Wendy.
I'm Dustin.
And yay, it's Wednesday. Good to see all of you guys. So we've got a slew of interesting news today that we're going to talk about. But before we do, we are going to talk about what we've been up to lately. And of course, that is a lot of Star Wars content, a lot of Clone Wars.
We just finished we didn't just finish it, but, May 4th was the final episode of the Clone Wars with Ahsoka Tano and Rex.
Yep.
Get to see their story arc, and it was also the start of the new, what is it, the gallery?
Yeah, Disney Gallery, the Mandalorian.
Disney Gallery, the Mandalorian, which it was really cool to see.
Yeah.
All the behind-the-scenes chit-chat that they got to do.
Oh, yeah. That was really, really cool. So if you have caught up to the end of the Clone Wars, which is so weird to say, you can check out our spoiler review, which is up on the channel, as well as our reaction to the final episode, which is also up on our channel. And man, editing that was a nightmare because my laptop, I have a MacBook Pro, but it's very old. It's like 6 years old.
Yeah, it's starting to get to that time to where we're going to have to start thinking about replacing it.
We don't have the money for that right now. So I'm like really scared on what's going to happen. Like, oh, let me just not even finish that sentence. So anyways, hopefully the laptop can, knock on wood, hopefully the laptop can last a few months longer. And then, yeah, we will do that. And we'll see what happens in a few months. Hopefully it lasts, because I don't generally like to buy new technology to begin with, because then you have to set it up and this whole thing. Oh
yeah, like every time you have to like get a new phone.
Yeah.
Because your old phone's starting to slow down only after like 2 years, and then you have to transfer all over the files and all the text messages and all the everyone's content. I mean, all of the like phone contacts. That's the word I was looking for. Today's been a little bit of a rough day.
Sorry, guys. We also have the Capone reaction and review up on the channel, and that is being directed by Josh Trank, and it stars Tom Hardy as Al Capone. If you haven't watched the trailer, you should do so. It's
really good.
It's really, really, really good. So we look forward to that, and yeah, check it out. It's all on our channel. And what we're watching lately. What we're watching is kind of, he already brought it up, but the Disney Gallery, The Mandalorian, there's only one episode up currently, and it's really, really good. The first one's all about directing, and I've been really liking it a lot.
It was cool because you got to have Taika Waititi in there. You got to have all the other directors.
Bryce Dallas Howard,
Dave Filoni, Jon Favreau.
Deborah Chow, baby. I really wish that the episode had given all the directors more time to speak about certain things. Like I just found it really interesting, and I don't remember how long the episode was. Maybe it was like 40 minutes.
5 minutes or something. It wasn't that long.
It wasn't that long.
You could have made that a lot longer.
Yeah, like the Director's Roundtable could have easily been like a 1 hour thing that I would have watched, or like you can make it a 2 hour thing. I'd watch it.
I would have been watching the whole hour.
Yeah, it's really interesting, and I can't wait to see next week's episode. And I know we have like a full 8, so that's really exciting. And our question to you today is, once the Mandalorian series is over, not the Mandalorian show, but the Disney Gallery, the making of the Mandalorian is over. What is the next Disney property you want to see Disney Gallery cover? What is something you'd want to see them cover? Well,
if they're sticking with like a Star Wars theme, I think it would have been really cool to maybe like do like the last season of Clone Wars and just have a deep dive with Dave Filoni and George Lucas. And the cast, I think, would be really cool. I don't know if you could do a whole series on that.
Sure, you can.
That would be a little tough.
Sure, you can.
So
the history of Clone Wars. Or Disney animation, or like Star Wars animation, that's really, really good. I think I would want to see, I think I'd like to see like Avengers Infinity War and Avengers Endgame.
Oh yeah, that would have been cool. Yeah, the making of those two movies.
Because you literally have not just the Russos, but them having to also kind of in the same vein as The Mandalorian, they have to talk to the other directors who's done Marvel films such as Taika Waititi and Peyton Reed and what's his face, Scott Derrickson, who did Doctor Strange. So there's and Jon Favreau, of course, is also involved. So that's something I would like to see. Let's go ahead and see in the chat what you guys are saying. I know we're a little bit behind because there was like a 30-second delay.
30 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a little. For some reason, it's gotten a little bit longer.
I don't think it's gotten longer.
Oh, okay. It's always kind of been the same. The same time.
Just about. Jack Robbins says, "I want to see behind the scenes of Clone Wars. Us too.
Yeah, that would be really cool.
Either a table reading or just seeing how they do the action in real life. Yeah, and especially what's really cool is that mocap behind the scene with Ray Park and Lauren Marie. Oh no, Lauren Marie Kim, the
one who played Ahsoka.
Yeah, she's done so much in stunts, and I'm butchering. So sorry. Let's see. Blade GTR writes, Disney doesn't have many properties coming out that can get the gallery treatment. And how would the Marvel behind the scenes differ from the Blu-rays extras? That's true. That's very true because, the Mandalorian doesn't have it. So maybe they would have to do something in the veins of something that goes on Disney Plus only. Yeah,
because then they would already have all of the behind the scenes footage. And the Mandalorian is pretty much their
Lauren Mary Kim, thank you, MK Songbird.
Oh, and the Mandalorian is pretty much their first big series that they've done originally for Disney Plus.
Maybe we'll do it. We'll have to wait for like Obi-Wan series to come out or the Cassian one to come out, and they could do another one.
I think those would be great to do. I mean, especially the Obi-Wan one, because that's the one that everyone has just been, anytime Ewan McGregor was up asking questions from reporters or something, everyone would always ask, has Disney talked to you about doing an Obi-Wan Kenobi spinoff? And the answer was always no for the longest time. Until we got the word, and they're like, yes, Obi-Wan Kenobi.
So cool. Hi everybody who's just joined in on the stream. We're just kind of catching up with everybody, talking about what we've been watching lately, what we've been doing, what's available on the channel. But now that I see there's plenty more of you guys in here, let's go ahead and get started with our show topics. And the first one we're going to talk about is more Tiger King, more Joe Exotic, because Nick Cage has been cast to play Joe Exotic, and I couldn't be more excited.
You could not get more perfect casting for Joe Exotic than Nicolas Cage. Honestly. I mean, he can do that neurotic, kind of over the top, kind of
because
personality
Joe Exotic is over the top.
Well. Exactly.
Yeah.
And what is it? You showed me Jimmy Fallon.
Yeah, Jimmy
doing
Fallon
an impersonation of Nicolas Cage as Joe Exotic. And I'm like, okay, Jimmy, you're doing a pretty good Nicolas Cage impression there.
I would say so. So before we get too deep into the topic, and just in case you have no idea what we're talking about, I wrote down some key points. So Nick Cage has been cast to play Joe Exotic in a scripted series, and this is going to be an 8-episode series produced by Imagine Television Studios and CBS Television Studios. And the show, of course, is based on not just the Tiger King, Joe Exotic, but it's actually based on a Texas Monthly article, Joe Exotic, A Dark Journey into the World of a Man Gone Wild. Great title by, I'm going to butcher this author's name, Leif Rigstad. And also Dan Lagana, who is the showrunner for American Scandal, is going to be the writer, showrunner, and executive producer on this, which I think really sets a tone of like how like bananas this is gonna get. And this is actually Nick Cage's first regular TV role. So he's not just coming in as like a guest or like
a star, like a co-star.
Like this is his like first, because he's done so much in theatrical releases.
Yeah, he's done mainly big, but not big. He's been doing mainly. Yeah, theatrical releases.
Yeah, So this is going to be his first regular TV role, which is like kind of cool to kind of see him in that capacity. And this is not the first Tiger King scripted series. This is actually the second one that's announced. The first one that was announced, that one, different from this one, has Kate McKinnon attached to it to play Carol Baskin, which I cannot wait. I cannot wait. So I like the casting choice. I know before I was saying Dax Shepard, and I still am hoping that maybe in the Kate McKinnon one, they'll have Dax Shepard, because like I can just see him really embrace that role. But Nick Cage, it's kind of hard to not love that.
Yeah, because, we've always kind of made fun of Nicolas Cage every now and again.
Oh, well,
he's done some really bad movies. but he has always, like, anytime you see him in these movies, he always gives like 120% and going just above and beyond. He just does these huge over the top characters that are so much fun to watch sometimes.
Yeah.
And that's just perfect for Joe Exotic to play that kind of a character.
Yeah.
And you know he can dive deep into these characters. I mean, he's won an Oscar.
Yeah. Yes.
So, I mean, I'm excited to see this. And what's even better is we're probably going to get 2 Joe Exotics.
That would be really cool. And God, I can't wait. And I know it's very early on, but I'm liking that Nicolas Cage is attached. I'm liking that the showrunner from American Vandal is attached, and that it's a limited, series. So it's not going to go on forever. So that's going to be really cool. Our question to you guys regarding Nicolas Cage is, are you happy with the casting choice? And who would you want to see Carol Baskin opposite Nick Cage if they were to have Carol Baskin in this series?
I can't see them not having Carol Baskin. Because
she's such an essential part about Joe. Yeah,
exactly. And also, who would you want to have as Joe Exotic, maybe in the other rendition of the one that Kate McKinnon is going to be in? Because we still have to cast Joe Exotic with Nicolas Cage. And no, I'm sorry. You have to Carol Baskin with Nicolas Cage and a Joe Exotic for Kate McKinnon.
Yes. So that's going to be, we're going to
have a lot of Tiger King on our hands.
There's going to be a lot of Tiger Kings. I can already see, like, Halloween, there's going to be Tiger King costumes. There's going to be Carol Baskin costumes.
We've already seen tons of different
people owned a lot more, like, cat stripe things than I expected.
It's like, wait a second. You're like, supposed to be in quarantine. That means you own that.
Either you owned it, or I guess you could have Amazoned it, which is kind of funny. But there's like a whole variety of like glitter sequins, tiger stripe things that I never knew existed, and I was just like, now they're everywhere, and it's when you see it on people, you're like, oh, okay, I get it.
And a lot of people seem to also have had mullet wigs somewhere stuffed in their closet.
Oh God, it's so true. Oh man, Tiger King. Ooh, okay. So here's a couple of great suggestions. Jack Robbins writes Kristen Wiig as Carol Baskin.
I like that.
Yes. I love her. Melissa McCarthy as Carol Baskin. Both of those ladies.
Those are
great.
Both really good. I like those suggestions.
The Mom from the Goldbergs for Carol Baskin. Yes. 100%. Oh my God, how funny. Here's what Tim Franco. Hi, Tim.
Play GTR. I get the not the bees. That's from The Wicker Man, I believe, where the way that they kill Nicolas Cage in that movie is that he's just all the bees get stung. He's like, my eyes.
Oh my God, I don't think I've seen that one.
It's kind of a mind trip, kind of a movie.
Okay, well maybe we can add that to our list. But I want to go ahead and read. What? Go ahead.
Oh, it's a really weird movie, like really bad weird or good weird.
Like The Room, like
no, not like The Room.
Cats.
No, not like Cats. That's something completely different. But one of those movies that you're just kind of like, what the heck is like? It's it's and of course Nicolas Cage's acting mixed in with all of it, style of acting. It's just. I haven't seen it all the way through. I've just seen some videos that kind of talked about it. Yeah. But it's intense.
Well, maybe if you guys have watched Wicker Man, go ahead and put that in the chat or in the comments and let us know if that's something we should watch. Tim Franco writes, my only problem with this is I don't want any of these people making any money off of any of this. They're garbage for what they did and still do to the animals, and that's my gripe, LOL. Yes, agree with that. Most of the people in the Tiger King, as we saw, especially from the reunion series, don't give like 2 Fs about these animals, except for Soph. Soph is the only person that truly, truly cared about the tigers, and that's why Soph kept on going back. Or not kept on going back, but went back after the arm incident.
Even after he lost his arm.
Yeah, so, but yes, you are correct. But it's also like such a hot, like, not a hot topic, but so many people watched it. It became so popular so quickly. So I can see why a lot of people kind of want to take that and recreate it. So, but yes, I get where Tim is coming from. Well said.
Yeah, and the problem is, though, I mean, they probably have to pay Carol something, because if they don't, she's going to try and turn around and sue him because she has the money to do that. I mean...
Sorry, just read a comment.
And also, it's just weird because, yeah, how far do the rights go? I mean, since it is, you know, public knowledge, and there was actually courtroom dramas about... Oh, not courtroom drama, but there was actually, like, you know, police involved with the plan to murder her.
Yeah.
So, you know, I mean, I don't want any of these people
and
to
that's why I'm wondering if the scripted series, the one that Nicolas Cage is attached to, wouldn't have Carol Baskin, because there's probably several things they have to go through, because it doesn't sound like it's satire comedy, because then that's different. Like you can be protected under the parody law. Yeah.
Or even where it's kind of like, since we're telling a real life story, then as long as they don't go into the realm of slander, then I think they can probably still get away with it. But I'm the last person to ask about
stuff. We don't really know about that. And then the comment I was laughing about, because I think that would be great, it's from Eric, who wrote, Carol Baskin by Kathy Bates, hands down.
Oh.
Yes.
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 That is a good casting choice.
Yeah, I would watch that. All right, let's go ahead and move on to our next topic.
From tigers to space.
Tigers to space. So Tom Cruise is working on, we've seen him in everything in Mission Impossible, doing crazy stunts like scaling a skyscraper in Dubai, strapped to an airplane as it took off, hanging from a helicopter, piloting a helicopter, so many death-defying stunts in Mission Impossible, breaking various, like, you know, like his ankle, his bruised rib, and all this. And he's... That
one shot of him in the last Mission Impossible where he barely misses.
And they used it.
And you saw his ankle go...
I was like, it's not supposed to bend that way. So he also now might be the first actor in Hollywood to do The Impossible, a space movie actually shot in space. So this we read as a report from Deadline, that a narrative film, so it'd be like an action-adventure film, would be shot in space. And actually, this was confirmed by NASA administrator, I'm going to mess up this person's name, Jim Bridenstine, or Bridenstine, via Twitter. And this is the quote from Twitter. NASA is excited to work with Tom Cruise on a film aboard the space station. We need popular media to inspire a new generation of engineers and scientists to make NASA's ambitious plan a reality. So have been other films that have been filmed aboard the space station, but Tom Cruise, if they were to do this, he would be the first actor to space travel.
Yeah, to actually go to the space.
I'm sorry, I need to go to set. My call time is in 2 days. I gotta go. What does the call sheet look like?
And how do you do? I mean, he has to go through astronaut training.
Yep.
Because he has to make sure that he doesn't die on the rocket up. Even though he's probably in perfect shape to be able to do that.
He's great shape, but that's scary.
But he's still he's in his 50s, isn't he? I mean, I think he's
50.
I think he's
50 or 51.
I'd have to check it out.
I'm sure the chat will come in.
But the thing is, though, I mean, he has to make sure that he's able to get up there, that he's able to stay up there for at least a few days, because they're not able to just shoot all the stuff and then be like, okay, send them back down. He's going to have to spend at least a couple days up there.
That's completely crazy, because I am just thinking about the insurance on Tom, the insurance on the production crew, getting all the equipment shot up there, and the capacity of it, the time to travel there and back. And I'm just thinking from a production standpoint, already making a call sheet, normally you would have even just minuscule things like costume, makeup, hair.
All of that has to get up there.
Producers, directors, ADs. And so would it be just the crew? And
I'm assuming that there's going to be just him and
Tom Cruise is 57.
Oh my gosh.
He
will be 58 in July.
He does not look it. Whoa.
He's in better shape than most. I'm not in my 40s yet. And he's in much better shape than I am.
He's in better shape than a lot of people. But that's his, it's also a part of his job to be this action superstar that he's always been. I think it's just a routine for him to just kind of stay in shape that way. Now it's just a normal thing, not a normal thing, but just an everyday routine thing for him.
Yeah,
so he's not trying to do it. He just is. Tom Cruise is just fit. Wow. I really thought he was early 50s. I didn't know he was going to be 58. Wow. See, age is nothing but a number. So let us know what you guys think about a movie shot in space with Tom Cruise in space. Do you guys think this can be done? And do you think there's going to be like a cast that's going to be involved, or will it just be Tom Cruise and like a very small skeleton crew?
I personally think it's going to be just as, I mean, it might only be Tom Cruise and like one other person that are going up, because all of the crew is going to have to go through all of the astronaut training as well to make sure they can survive the G-forces of the rocket going up, and they have to go in that spinny thing.
And then like, just also so many things can go wrong that you have to always try to anticipate, right?
Yeah.
A space travel. So while it may be routine to travel from like Earth to the space station, you still have to anticipate like what various things can happen to you. And it's just like, I don't even want to think about what kind of insurance they need to put on Tom Cruise for him to travel to space.
But what's going to be great, though, is that this is going to kind of legitimize the idea of civilians going into space. I mean, I don't know if there's actually been any other quote unquote civilians that have been up there, you know, people who are not either a part of NASA or part of the government, or have been training to do this their entire life. You know, when everyone is growing up, I want to be an astronaut, I want to be in space, kind of a thing, and you're like, nah, I'm going to be an actor. But 30 some odd years later, you know what? Now that I'm an established actor, I'm going to space.
You could put him down in the Guinness World Book of World Records to be the first Hollywood actor, to go to space to film a movie. Some of the comments from the chat: attach a bunch of GoPros on him. Yep. And the question is it necessary to film in space? It's a great question. The answer, I think, is a very obvious no.
No, because what is it? I mean, for Apollo 13, all of that was filmed on those vomit comets. I think that's what they've, that's unofficially how they.
Oh, is that the G-force plane?
The G-force plane, and they just take it, go up, and they go straight down for like, and you get 30 seconds of weightlessness.
Which is like, oh God, trying to remember your lines and like get your body to do this, that just like puts a whole spin on acting. Because normally you have your direction and your lines and your emotions and what your motivation is and like what you're trying to get to. You're like, okay, I'm gonna act all this out. And then you're like, but you're gonna do it with zero gravity. You don't really have control over your like which direction you're gonna go, and neither does the camera. So good luck, everybody else.
You start trying to swim through it, and you're just like, and you see all the real astronauts off to the side, just going,
oh dear God!
Oh my God! Civilians.
Oh man. Let's see. What else are you guys writing? Stardew writes, what is your favorite space movie?
Oh, there's
The Martian's a good one.
Oh, hands down. The Martian. That is a really
Gravity is a really good one as well.
Grabbing things in, what was that? Grabbing for things in space.
Pretty much. I watched the movie like this.
Pretty much, yeah. Throughout that entire movie, I was like,
yeah. I don't think they go into really space, but it's a space.
There's like, Armageddon.
There's I mean, I like Armageddon actually.
But I think The Martian is still a much better
thing.
Well, then technically, would Star Wars count?
But that's not.
It happens in space.
It's not rooted in.
I know.
But I guess neither is Armageddon. Anyways, because I was gonna say Arrival because I really like that movie.
That was,
but that's also then not like
it's more like Aliens
It's more
landing.
fiction. It's more fiction, and they kind of go up into the. But yeah, I don't know if I can. I think that one misses like the qualification of a space movie. But
yeah.
It's a freaking good sci-fi movie. Okay, let's see what else everybody else is writing. Apollo 13. Don't forget about that. That's good too.
Oh yeah, true. Yeah. I mentioned it earlier.
Yeah, very true. Jack Robin writes, Star Wars is in every category but a musical unless you count the Christmas special when the Wookiees and Leia sang.
Yeah, that's right. They did do some singing.
All right, let's go ahead and move on to our next topic, and that is I put this topic in specifically for Dustin because I knew he'd get a kick out of it. So we're gonna take we got to take a look via, I think it was Variety or The Wrap. I can't remember which outlet did this. But they got to take a look and interview basically the people that Joe Manganiello and the people that are involved in his campaign, and it is so epic. So his campaign is called like a War of Dragons, which is such a cool name, and people playing in the campaign, big names such as Game of Thrones showrunners D.B. Weiss and Dave Benioff, Vince Vaughn, Cal Newman, and The Big Show, just to name a few.
Big Show.
And it's pretty incredible. There's a whole video looking into what their campaign, what their miniature set, looks like and everything. Wow.
He had some of the coolest miniatures. And when they take the camera down into his dungeon, I'm like, I want a dungeon like that. That is so cool. And even when, they were interviewing The Big Show.
Yeah.
He's like, man, I've been spending my money the wrong way. This is what I should be spending my money on. This is awesome. All these cool little miniatures.
Some of the crystals light up.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh. And especially, sorry, go ahead.
A buddy of mine, when I first really started to get into D&D, a buddy of mine who was running the campaign actually had some of the, what is it called? They had like a build your own dungeon kit that he had gotten off of Kickstarter. Well, Joe Manganiello has pretty much every single one that you can get. And
it's incredible.
I'm like, I've seen some of that stuff.
He's got the ship.
Mm-hmm.
He's got towers. He's got dragons.
He had an elephant from Lord of the Rings that actually you could put your miniatures on and have the battle going on up there while you're moving the elephant down the down like the battlefield. And I'm just like,
that's incredible.
That is so cool.
Yeah,
I want that. I want all of that.
Yeah, D&D. Dustin's been a really big fan, so he plays campaigns and stuff a lot more than I do. I've kind of done more of like one-offs, but it's a lot of fun. We're actually gonna do a game tonight.
Yeah,
with our friends, so that's exciting. It's gonna be part 3 because
technically part 2.
Did we do one because I was sick and I didn't.
But that was kind of like a prequel dream sequence kind of thing.
Okay.
That it ended up turning out to be. We just happened to use the same characters.
Got it.
So
yeah,
it's a lot of fun.
It's a lot of fun.
However, this is like my first dabbling in being a GM. So it is very overwhelming. I'm so nervous about knowing all the information, making sure that I know what happens if the players decide, hey, you know what, we're going to go this way. I'm like, but the road is everything. Okay, here we go. Let's see if I can pull this. Fly by the seat of my pants kind of a thing.
Yeah, and I love that with Joe's campaign, like he's the DM, and having to have the knowledge of the story you're trying to tell, and to anticipate what the players may or may not want, what they may or may not want to do, and some of the questions they may ask, and you have to kind of give them an answer, and so that's just like really interesting. Another thing that I really like that they talked about in this interview is that like he has just so many miniatures, and there is an artist that paints them specifically for them. And so I think it was Tom Morello that was talking about, or maybe it was The Big Show, I can't remember which one, but they're talking about there's so many miniatures that's like, if your druid were to be turned into a weasel, Joe would be like, okay, what color weasel? And then all of a sudden he would pull out that color, like the red striped weasel, and put it down. And it's kind of like, you just have that. Seriously amazing. We saw the photos, we saw the videos. It is insane. Obviously right now it's during the pandemic, they're not playing together, but they're using Zoom and Roll20 to play, which is something that we've started to dabble with.
I'm trying to figure out how to use Roll20, and it's taken a long time because unfortunately there's actually like a lot of code that you have to use, and I'm terrible with trying to do like coding, and so I'm trying to figure out like the layman way to do it.
I'm sure there's plenty of YouTube videos.
Yes, but they are all very in-depth. And I'm like, I just want to know how to do this one thing. How do I do this one thing? And I'm scanning through the video, and I'm like, shoot, I don't even know if they're talking about the one thing that I want to figure out.
Yeah. And speaking of which, Steve just put in a comment in the chat. He says, I hope Paramount gets it right with the D&D movie reboot in 2022. And I think
me too.
A former I can't speak today. A former Marvel exec just signed on to the movie.
Oh, cool.
He's done stuff like, I think, Avengers Avengers Age of Ultron, and a couple of more under Marvel. So
well, technically, Avengers is kind of like a D&D.
Well, because of the amount of like cast members you have involved in it. Yeah.
And you have your group of heroes, and you kind of have a little bit of their backstory, and then you have a big bad that they all have to team up on.
Yeah.
So getting someone from Marvel who's worked on maybe Avengers might actually be a nice little ad, a nice little, you know, a spot of light and hope.
Yeah. So yeah, well, we'll see. I saw that in the news today, and I didn't really do it like notes for it because it's still kind of early in development. So there wasn't too much, but that sounds promising and exciting. Okay, let's see.
I really hope it turns out well.
I had a question for you guys about D&D. So let us know, if you were to run a campaign, who is your like dream cast of players? Who would you guys want to play with?
Oh no, are you talking about like say having
not your race and your whatever, but like the people you get to play with?
Okay, so yeah, like, if you got to play, like maybe you can have
athletes, celebrities, influencers, whoever.
Yeah,
like,
if you wanted to have like have the cast of the original Avengers.
Yeah,
in there, so you can have Chris Hemsworth, Chris Evans, Robert Downey Jr. You could have like the original Avengers, and each one of them could play like the version of themselves. So Scarlett Johansson could be like a rogue.
Oh my gosh, that'd be cool. That'd be really cool. Yeah, I love that. All right, let us know in the chat what you guys think, and while you guys do that, we are gonna be moving to the next topic. And I like Blade. He's probably a critter just like us.
Oh, Matt Mercer.
Matt Mercer, for sure.
I would kill to be able to have one game with Matt Mercer as my
cool dude,
as the DM.
Yeah,
because
cool
Wendy's gotten actually to meet him, and Wendy's just like, he's the most laid back, chill guy.
So chill, like just like lovely to speak with. Yeah, it was great.
So I would. I mean, I played DM with some pretty good dungeon masters. So, but I really got in to D&D when I started to do more and more of Critical Role.
Yeah.
Now, true, there's also a lot of other what is that called? Other channels out there that do their own streaming of Dungeons and Dragons or Pathfinder. I mean, our buddy is on something called Dragons and Things.
Yeah.
So and there's so many of them out there, and I would love to watch them all, but each one is about 3 hours long.
Yeah, so you really have to.
You have to devote.
You have to devote your time to do it. Let's see what you guys are saying. Matt Damon, the cast of Big Bang Theory. That'd be fun.
That would be fun.
Daisy Ridley, Alicia Vikander, Richard Madden, Kate Harington, Emilia Clarke. Yes. That'd be fun. That'd be a lot of fun, actually. The Game of Thrones cast would be fun.
Oh yeah. I know. What is it? Vin Diesel is really into D&D.
Not surprised.
That would be really fun.
Not surprised. That sounds like something that would be up his alley. Yeah, that'd be fun. Can he play as Groot? If he was the DM and everything.
I am Groot. And everyone's like, "Oh no,
what's he saying?" All right, let's see. Our next topic is we're going to talk about The Mandalorian Season 2 just a little bit, because what we know is that Peyton Reed is going to be directing at least, we think, one episode of the Season 2 show. So on May the 4th, Peyton Reed, and you may know him from Ant-Man and Ant-Man and the Wasp, he tweeted out a photo of a director's chair with his name on it, and on the seat of that chair was the Mandalorian helmet. Basically, it's saying that I think anyways, that he's most likely directing at least one episode of Season 2 of The Mandalorian. And that's really exciting because I really like what he's done with Ant-Man and the Wasp, because I don't think that's like an easy character to...
No, because you have to do a really good job on balancing the humor, the action, the seriousness, and also you have to be creative on how to do these fight scenes.
Yeah.
And how to do these action sequences, because your character is constantly changing sizes.
Which is so cool, but I feel like on storyboard and stuff, such a nightmare. Be like, okay, now he's big, now he's small, now he's small, now he's big, now he's giant. Yeah, but you can have a lot of fun with it too once it comes together.
Yes.
It looks so good on film. So we're excited about that. And we know that principal photography for Season 2 of The Mandalorian wrapped, and they already greenlit a Season 3.
Yes.
So that's really exciting. And I wonder if, I didn't find this in my research, but I wonder if the directors from season 1 will come back and do some more episodes.
Hope so. I hope we get a couple, like an episode or 2 by Taika. I mean, definitely Dave Filoni.
I need all the episodes by Deborah Chow. I absolutely love them. So I can't wait. I want to see what you guys are kind of saying about this, because I want to know what you guys, what am I trying to say? What other directors would you like to see being involved in The Mandalorian?
For season 3.
I feel like season 2 is probably already all like pretty much done. So who would you want? What other directors would you want to see involved in season 3? I have one pick, and that is Guillermo del Toro.
Oh.
Yep.
Oh, that would be a good pick.
I would love to see Guillermo do one.
And also Guillermo said that he's been wanting to do.
He's wanted to do some Star Wars movies. He's like pitched it, but I don't think anything's. Give him a movie, you cowards!
Yeah, or at least give him an episode of The Mandalorian, see how awesome it is, and then give him a movie.
And on that note, also give Dave Filoni a movie.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go ahead and see what's in the chat.
Oh, okay.
To see what people are saying. Let's see before we move on to our final news topic. And I would totally do a D&D 5e homebrew set in the Mass Effect universe.
Ooh, that would be fun.
That'd be fun for sure. Sorry, we went all the way back to D&D. Sorry about that. Okay,
I just wish I could do more D&D.
Yeah, I know. You'd play it all the time if we could. Steve wrote, director Robert Rodriguez is also involved in The Mandalorian season 2. He did Alita Battle Angel. Amongst other things. That's right. Wow, that would be awesome. Let's see what else. Deborah Chow episodes were probably some of my favorites this season. Absolutely agree with that. It's fantastic. Would David Weiss be good? He did amazing in Game of Thrones. They did until the final season.
Yeah.
They really did until the final season.
And also, David Weiss, he also did Wolverine Origins. Didn't he?
I don't know.
I thought he did.
I'm not sure.
But see, I will praise Game of Thrones from season 1 to season 6, and season 7 was also okay. But yeah, I was. It's
really the. I mean, there were really a lot of great moments, but overall, there are a lot of parts that's just like
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. And honestly, it happens. They had been doing that for so many years. And they wanted to move on to a new thing.
I get it.
Fans kind of wouldn't let them. So, they're kind of like, we're done. We're just done. But the problem is it kind of showed.
Yeah, we're only speaking this from like a consumer point of view.
True.
We don't really know at all what goes on behind the scenes. So I'm sure there's like a lot more that was there, but I don't think it's a bad choice. I don't want to say like, I didn't love the ending of GOT, so therefore all of their the rest of their work is invalid. Like, that's not it. And they've done a lot of really good work for Game of Thrones.
That's a very unfair thing to do.
Yeah, so it's try not to be like, I'm trying not to be like selfish and kind of keep an open mind. Be like, well, there was a lot of really fantastic that. They're the reasons why we fell in love with Game of Thrones TV show. No,
that's true. So and once all the books are done, I do plan to start reading them.
When is it coming?
Exactly. if is more like it.
Yeah.
So, but that always leaves room for new directors to come in. The fact that season 3 is going to be there. Yeah. So I'm excited.
Yeah. Let's see who else you guys are thinking that you'd want to. Other directors you'd want to see involved in The Mandalorian. Ava DuVernay. Ooh, that'd be a great one. Pete Travis, he directed Dread.
Oh, that would be a cool episode. What I really liked about Dread is that it really did stay in a very small location. And
in The Mandalorians, in some ways, it's kind of contained. Each episode, at least.
Yeah.
Contained, yeah.
So doing an episode like that, too, I think would work very well.
Agreed.
The Mandalorian is trapped in a certain location, and he's trying to break out.
Yeah. Well, since we're on a Star Wars track, let's go ahead and get to our final news for the day, and that is, I'm so happy about this, Taika Waititi to direct. Oh, I did the thing wrong in my banner. Let me change it real quick. to direct a Star Wars movie. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited for this. Finally. Like I think we were hoping because we love what he does, everything he does, and this is going to be a very different kind of a Star Wars film, I think.
Yes. And that's good.
Within the Star Wars bounds.
We need a little bit of new blood bringing into Star Wars, and to kind of, if someone has a different little take on it, and to bring in a different kind of story, and to see what he did with Thor Ragnarok, I think is a good medicine to add to Star Wars. So I'm very curious on not only the fact that he is directing it, but the fact of what kind of story he's going to do, who's it going to revolve around, what time period is it going to revolve around.
Absolutely.
And I'm excited.
Me too. So he is set to direct and co-write this movie, and this is going to be for theatrical release. And 1917 movie, the writer for that movie, Christy Wilson Cairns, will be writing the script with Taika. There's no release date that's been announced. This is all very early. And obviously we know Taika's been involved with The Mandalorian, not just as a director, but he also voiced IG-11. So we are just so excited about it. Like, we love what he did with Thor Ragnarok. We cannot wait for Thor Love and Thunder.
Yeah.
And we
loved what he did in The Mandalorian.
Yes, we absolutely love that, and his other films too, Jojo Rabbit, which you haven't seen Jojo Rabbit
I
yet.
still really want to see that.
We'll make sure we watch it soon. What We Do in the Shadows. Oh no, what's the other one that I can't think of? The Wilderness People.
Oh,
Hunt for the Wilderness People. I forgot the title. I was like, The Wilderness People. So this is like such great news. I am so flippin' excited about it. I cannot wait. Let's see what you guys are saying about a bit of the Star Wars news. Let's see. Oh, John Krasinski should also direct. Ooh. Oh. If you could put a little bit of a horror spin on an episode.
Oh, and there's so many Star Wars stories that you really could make into a horror film.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that would be, I mean, Star Wars is, you can kind of take any kind of genre you want and tack Star Wars into it. And horror, you already got action, adventure, drama, romance, all of that stuff. And just to be able to bring in an expert in horror to tell a horror story in a Star Wars universe, I think would be fantastic.
Yeah, we think it would be fantastic too. And let us know in the chat for the Taika News, how excited are you guys about this? And what's your speculation on what sort of character or timeline this movie will take place? Who, like, it's maybe a brand new character that we haven't seen before, which is something I would like.
Yeah.
I honestly would love a brand new character that's not tied to any of the existing current storylines that we have already in the movies, and maybe not. I don't want to cut out the TV show, because I think there's a lot you can explore within like the Clone Wars and Rebels timeline. But I think we've seen a lot from like the Skywalker saga and that timeline. It's just been years, so I'm ready for something fresh and new in a different timeline, whether it's like future or past. So I can't wait.
Yeah, I mean, and plus there's so many different things. I mean, should Taika do something that's in a time period that we've already explored, or do they go off and do something completely different that they haven't even touched yet, and be like, hey, here's this completely untampered with, no one's actually explored this timeline. Go, have fun, Taika. Yeah,
exactly. A couple of comments from the chat. Taika Waititi is great news for Star Wars, but bad news for the live-action Akira. I thought Jordan Peele was doing the live-action Akira.
Maybe.
No?
Am
I wrong?
I'm not 100% sure about that. But yeah, if Jordan Peele's doing it, I mean, he's a great director and writer, too.
Yeah, but I mean, that is kind of a bummer if Taika was somehow involved in it. But I mean, maybe there's time for both. Maybe there's time for both. Let's see, another comment. I want it to take place in the far, far future. New enemies and more female lead actors. Yes, Cate Blanchett to star.
Yes.
Cate Blanchett in everything.
I think that's something that would be really good for them to do, to where either they do it in the Old Republic, to where, the Skywalker name is never really has not been heard of. They have not even, the whole saga hasn't even happened yet, or many, many, many years after
Yeah.
So that you can talk about the legend of the Skywalkers.
Oh, they can just like name drop.
Yeah. So you can do a few little name drops, do a little bit of fan service, but it's so far in the past
that we don't need to bring back like an old character.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that would be great. What if they went into the Old Republic?
That's
something we've always wanted.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, I've been crying for the Old Republic.
Yeah.
Ever since, it's been a while. Yeah. It's been a really long time since the video game Knights of the Old Republic.
Wow.
Knights of the Old Republic came out.
Yeah. Let's see, what else are you guys writing? Being a cast member in Disneyland in Batu, we are going to be adding new merchandise, and new stories to our interactions, which we live for. Lucasfilm may need to visit us again. Oh my God, that'd be
take my money.
Take my money. Take all the we spend way too much back when we were making regular money. We spent way too much money in Batu, but that was like a one-time thing. Like the very first time we went, back in June when they first opened for the reservation period.
Oh yeah.
You and I put it in our budget. We knew that we were going to be buying certain things, and then after
Lots of lightsabers.
And then after that, we didn't buy anymore. So we spent all of our money up front, and then we've
Even though we still want to buy a holocron.
Still want to buy a holocron. We still go get the food.
Mm-hmm, the food.
But the food is like a necessity, right? Because you get hungry. And so you have to have, a Ronto wrap or like a blue milk.
Yeah. Every now and again, you're like, I want to get some blue milk. Yeah, let's get some blue milk.
What's kind of cool is that we share a lot of it, because I get very excited about food at Disneyland, and then I get full after 2 bites, and then he gets the rest. Oh, we have a super chat from.
Awesome.
Let me go put this up. We have a super chat. Wait, I gotta go back to the other thing. Gotta go here. Sorry, I'm working on it. I'm working on it. There it goes.
You pass it up. It's down at the bottom.
Oh, show. Okay.
There we go.
From Myth Dusters. Oh, that's a fun name.
Thank
you for the super chat. Do you think Atlanta or Marvel will start filming soon since Georgia is back open? Okay. There was an article, I think it was by Variety, and they were talking about like the new Hollywood standards of reopening things to go back on set again.
Yeah.
And casting, and how they were going to be doing like in-person stuff again. I don't know, because like they could start filming, but if they do that, it would have to be the most bare minimal crew. And I don't know what the criteria to reopen in Georgia is, as opposed to California. California is a little bit different.
Yeah.
But Georgia may have different rules. So if we're going by California standards, I think
you have to. Well, the federal standards are the fact that you must go 2 weeks with cases starting to go down, of 2 weeks solid of cases going down. But I think a lot of states are like, well, we're not going to listen to that, and we're just going to open. So it really is up to the studios, because if you're able to go out and start filming, you're going to have to balance the risk of, okay, if we have all of these extras, all of these high name and high A-list actors, and all of these crew members and people, all of the businesses around there, you're going to have to balance and judge the risks versus the rewards. Very much so. What happens if someone that you hired, like say if you hire a big name, an A-list actor for one of your Tom Cruise, or if you have any of the other Marvel stars, Chris Hemsworth or Chris Evans, or any of those big name actors, and they come onto your set, and one of them or someone gets the virus, would the studios then be held responsible? Is there a law? That's the whole thing that we don't know yet. We don't know what's going to happen. So, I'm pretty sure that the studios are going to push as hard as they can with still being safe.
Yeah.
So I would love them to start filming as soon as possible, as long as it's safe. I don't want anyone to get sick during the filming of the next Marvel movie, because then we're going to be shut down for a much longer time, because it's going to get a lot more publicity.
So the thing with a Marvel film is that most Marvel films, the set it's definitely over 100 people, easily over 100 people, and I think most time they shoot at the Pinewood Studio, but it's just a lot of people, and I think at the beginning they're going to have to go with a smaller crew. So I don't think they're going to start filming anytime soon, but I think eventually as Hollywood starts to reopen and casting and everything, we slowly start going back to normal. It's definitely in the talks. One of the things they have, and there's another super chat, so I want to get to that before it goes away. But one of the things, once we go back on set and everything's fully open, I know something's going to be very different, and that's the crafty table.
Oh my God,
There will be no more like things to pick at in bowls that are just open for anybody's hands to go in. They're probably going to be like individual snack packs. I think costuming, makeup, that's going to be real different. So that's a great question, Mythbusters.
And I also think that a lot of things are going to happen before they start doing actual principal photography. What they're probably going to do is like, okay, we can now start getting a little bit more involved in pre-production, in finding locations, and they can do a lot in costuming and designing. They can do a lot more now that the states are a little bit more opened up than they could before.
Yeah.
Then once some time has gone by, then they're like, okay, everything's set and ready. Is everyone ready? Are we good? Okay, good. And then they go. So,
but this situation is just ever changing. So
yeah.
I want us to see us progress forward and not backwards. So I want it to be okay.
Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed that everything goes fine. So yes.
Okay. Let's go ahead and move on. Thank you so much for your super chat. That's a really great question. I like that question, and I want to definitely circle back to that in a future chat. Okay. The next super chat. Thank you so much. Oh my God. It's Salad von Baco.
I love the Yoda.
Much. Yeah, it's great. The little icon. I think Taika is going to do a silly random one-off movie. I'm hoping for a Cantina band from episode 4 versus Max Rebel band from episode 6. Galactic Battle of the Band sort of thing.
Oh my God, that would be right up Taika's alley. To do something that's so out of the blue, something that's, you take this completely random character or the random group of characters that like gets like maybe 5 seconds of screen time in one of the movies, and then you're just like, let's make an entire movie out of this. So
oh my God.
That would be
Battle
awesome.
Of the Bands in space. That's amazing. And I can definitely see, like, even if that's not the movie, like Taika doing something random, like in a scene like that, that's so like kind of, it's very in his flavor.
Yeah.
And it's just so funny because like, there's nothing more than I love Star Wars to be fun. I love all of its serious moments, but I love it when they have like fun moments too, where you kind of look back, you're like, you know.
No, and that's awesome. I mean, because, you know, and that's the thing. If you start just doing these cool little one-offs, and what is life like outside of the war and destruction of Star Wars?
Yeah.
What is everyday life like for some of these people who are just trying to put a band together? You know, maybe, you know, what is it like to, oh, hey, guys, I got a gig at Jabba's palace. Oh my gosh, this is going to be huge for us. And the fact that that's on Tatooine with the cantina, you could have them talking about them getting this big job, but then something happens at Jabba. And then Luke Skywalker comes in into Jabba's palace, and everything gets destroyed. And they're trying to get out, and there's all of this chaos.
And you just set loose like the Rancor and like, eats the band members. Oh my God.
That would be awesome.
That would be hilarious. I can also see like if it's set in the very, very far future, and like let's just like keep going with this like cantina band thing where they're looking for like the new of the new cantina band, right? They have all these like like various things, and I just want to see like kind of The Voice or American Idol or America's Got Talent, where the original Cantina band members are just like sitting there and they have their own little chair and they spin around for like an anthem they like, and they don't. They hit the button, they're like, no, get out.
You know, there was going to be a show right before Disney bought the rights to Star Wars or bought Lucasfilms. Seth Green and George Lucas was working on a cartoon series called Star Wars Detour. And I was so excited for this series to come out because it looks like they were going to do this kind of a thing.
That's
where
great.
They were kind of making fun of Princess Leia, that she was a self-absorbed, you know, I'm the prettiest, I'm the best kind of princess. And there was actually more of a husband-wife relationship between Chewie and Han.
That's funny. That I'd watch.
And I'm like, I really wish that would have gotten the green light. And well, actually, technically, they did get the green light, but then Lucas sold the rights before it aired, and I was so sad to hear that it never happened.
And what's another cool thing about this question is doing a silly, random one-off movie.
Yeah.
Like, as opposed to him doing like a trilogy, like what we've been seeing, right? And of course, the trilogies, it worked because we have 4, 5, 6, and we had 1, 2, 3, and then now we have 9, 10, 11.
Mm-hmm.
Wait. Yes, right? 6, 7, 8.
4, 5, 6,
9, 10,
7,
11.
8, 9.
7, 8, 9. Oh
7, 8,
God.
9.
Why did I get 9, 10, 11?
Well, I think you were also counting all of the Star Wars stories.
There's
maybe.
Only
2 of those. I
don't know. Look,
Rogue One and Solo.
Look, math is hard. Counting is hard. I don't like math and I don't like numbers, and that's what happened. But yeah, so it kind of made sense for them to do trilogy, because that's kind of what we've had. But I think to get like a random Star Wars one-off movie would not be bad at all. And you can always refer, depending on the timeline of it, and if like the future movies referred, like you can always refer back to this one-off movie if you want to. What were you laughing about?
I was thinking of having a story take place on Alderaan, to where it's like one of these side stories
before,
and then the planet blows up.
We already saw that.
I know, but it's one of those things that you're just like, they're like, you kind of just start and you just kind of mention that it's on Alderaan, and everyone's sitting there going, I wonder what time period this takes place. And then at the very end, boom, the planet just blows up.
Oh my God.
Like it should just start, like, end going, is that the moon?
Oh no.
I know that's a
terrible, very short movie.
Very terrible idea.
Oh my gosh. Well, Salavan Bako, thank you so much for your super chat. We really appreciate it. And what a great discussion to bring us to the end of the show.
Mm-hmm.
Thank all of you for watching. We had a lot of fun today. I know the news was a little thin, but as always, we enjoy talking with you guys. We like the back and forth, and that's why we do these weekly streams with
it's
all
a
of
lot
you.
of fun, guys.
It's a lot of fun, and when we're having a bad day, we do look forward to these streams, and when we get to talk to all of you. It's like hanging out with all of our friends over the internet. Well, you guys, until Saturday, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. We're also on Patreon if you want to check that out. That's where we have some bonus contents going up. I am going to be working on some vlogs, very old vlogs, that's going to go up on the main channel hopefully soon. Let's keep the fingers crossed that the laptop, holds out for all of the editing that I have coming up. And tomorrow we'll have another retro trailer review. So look forward to that. And we will see you in the next one. Bye, you guys. Thank you. Go watch Star Wars.